So sometimes I feel very fortunate to have such an out of touch opponent like Jenna Persons-Mulicka. So you see behind me is a snapshot that she just posted to her Facebook. She looks lovely though, right? Obviously she was having such an amazing time and looking very glamorous, totally not reading the room of what's going on here in Southwest Florida, that we are in the middle of the low time, right? No season. So even on a good year, people aren't working. They don't, they are trying to have fun and take care of their kids over the summer, but they don't have the money that they would normally have during season. Plus, Florida has a higher than average unemployment rate. Plus, we have a housing crisis that is ongoing. So people are losing their money and their homes, and people who are trying to sell their homes are not able to do so because we have a glut in the market. People are having their increasing amount of foreclosures on homes, increasing amount of repossessions on cars, all epicentered right here in Southwest Florida. So not a lot of things are super good for folks. We have affordability crisis. We have costs that are going up and that are going to continue to go up as Trump's tariffs are going to take effect starting tomorrow. But lots of companies are already anticipating increasing their costs because of earlier supply chain tariffs and other issues as well. So, not reading the room, okay? But here's Jenna. She's obviously having a lovely time, or recently had a lovely time over in Palm Beach. Looks like this is the Breakers in Palm Beach, a hotel that is anywhere between $700 to $5,000 a night. So yeah, it's something that I couldn't even afford for my own honeymoon. But she's just a Tuesday night when she posted this. And then you look around, see the other things that are going on in that picture. You notice that she's got a $25,000 wedding ring set and a $1,000 beautiful glamorous dress. And her husband, David Mulicka, has a $2,000 suit. God only knows how much the food would cost at a place like that, but I am sure it's more than what my food stamps will cover. So, yeah, like a lot of folks around us, it's difficult to make ends meet. For me, just like lots of folks in this community. So posting a photo like this is pretty off-putting, I think, and shows just what it means to be a seventh generation Floridian who is just steeped in old money and now new money that is nothing like the rest of the working class folks that comprise the majority of this district. The average household income in this area is a little more than $50,000. And if you have kids, well, that puts you into the poverty range. So as many of the very wealthy folks that are owning homes on the river, or the professional folks, the vast majority of the people in this area are working class folks like you and I. So we're not able to buy a $1,000 dress or pay $5,000 a night to stay at a fancy hotel. No, we have to budget and we have to work. And that is exactly things that our representative in Tallahassee doesn't understand. And that's bad for us. But I want to take this a step further, because this is not just about being out of touch and going to expensive places and then flaunting it on your Facebook as if you have no idea what's going on in the world around you. That would be bad enough. But the actual problem is where all this new money came from for Jenna and her dear husband. This is a question that I have been wondering. Now, many of you may know that Jenna's husband is daddy husband, if you will. He's quite a bit older than her. And this is at least marriage number 2 for him. So anyway, Jenna's husband, David Mulicka, is owner of a company called Haunch, and it is the largest, hands down, by the way, largest demolition company in Southwest Florida. They do the bulk of the business, have been a player in the construction industry around here for a very long time. They just recently had a large contract with the school district. And they have been doing a lot of other things, demo, especially in the post-Hurricane Ian era. They are the premier folks to be able to get to do that. So why does that matter, right? You'll see in the graphic behind me, right, you'll see that in the money that's raining down, you'll see two logos. One of them is for Housing and Urban Development, HUD, and the other one is for the CDBGDR, the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief Fund that was given to Lee County as a $1.1 billion amount of money that came from HUD, from the federal government. Okay, so this was money that was used for disaster relief. So through a couple years process, this money had been allocated to everything from housing to nonprofits to other areas that they are looking at helping to refurbish houses and make sure that they're resilient, and helping folks who otherwise didn't get assistance from FEMA or SBA get their business and or house back up on their feet. Okay, the biggest chunk of this money is gone to the housing one, by the way. So at least over $150 million of that has already been expended. Okay, all right, so what does that mean? So that is meant for people who need their houses torn down, right? What is that called again? Oh yeah, that's demolition, isn't it? So there was a lot. There was over 12,000 structures in Lee County alone after Hurricane Ian that needed to be completely torn down because they were totally uninhabitable or couldn't be refurbished. They were damaged beyond repair. So that's 12,000 properties that needed demolition, right? And the largest demolition company in Southwest Florida, I'm sure, was happy to oblige. But why does this matter, and why am I really making a big issue out of this? It's because of this. So I'm going to show you some things behind me here about information about where this money is going from the Community Development Block Grant. Okay, so we have all this money, it's going to housing. We already know that demolition is a big part of it, and we know that David Mulicka's company has given or does demolition. None of this stuff is on the book, so it's not like Haunt has a contract with Lee County. No. That would be a clear violation of both sunshine laws and ethics and laws in the state of Florida. But what is happening is he is being given funds to do this work, most likely, as a subcontractor. So what is happening is the money came from HUD to Lee County. Lee County then gave the funds that had been allocated for the housing programs and the refurbishments and the demolitions and the lifting to an organization called Horn LLP. Horn LLP is in charge of the Lee Cares program and handing out this money. So because a large portion of that is going to go to things like demolition, we can assume that at least a portion of the $150 million that has been spent thus far in the program has gone to companies that do demolition, including potentially the largest one in Lee County. So because the money it's not Lee County that has the contract with Hunch, it goes through 1, 2, 3 different places before it gets paid to David Mulicka's company. So we never actually see it, so it doesn't really look like a conflict of interest. But I believe that this is a big problem. And I will throw in the fact that this is not just something that was put forth in terms of my idea just to go after Jenna and her husband. This was actually something I learned from the Disaster Survivors Association that I met. The Disaster Survivor Association had said that they met with the county commissioners and were asking where the funds, because they assert that most of these funds have not gone to survivors. They are going to who knows, but it hasn't gone to a lot of people, and people have even tried to get this money and they can't. And they said when they met with David Mulicka, he was bold enough to brag to them about how his company had made so much money off this. So he knew the money was there, and unwittingly told a disaster survivor who had gotten no assistance that he knows that it's being spent because it's going into his bank account. This is corruption. This is corruption that financially benefits David Mulicka and his wife, Jenna Persons-Mulicka. It is corruption that enables them to go to a place like this in their fancy clothes and have a wonderful time on the public dime. And I am firmly opposed to it. I'm Cindy Banier, and I hope you will help me to throw their asses out.